Hello, hello, Mike DelPrete here, Executive Director of the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, and this is episode 11, Act as if it were impossible to fail. And this show we're calling the From Success Principles to Properties. The reason we came up with that is because I read this book in full over 12 years ago. It changed the way I think. It changed the way I do business. It changed the way I think on a daily basis. That's really what it is. It changed. I took what I believe, or I took the negative beliefs and the limiting beliefs, and I changed them. It took me on a daily basis, one day at a time, getting the negative thoughts out of my head, taking different actions every day to on things that I was scared of or uncomfortable with, and gradually getting comfortable with those changes and getting stronger and better at everything I was doing while learning how to invest in real estate. So this book has impacted my life. So I wanted to go through the 64 principles. This is number 11, act as if it was impossible to fail. And I want to break down in these episodes. Remember, they build upon each other, on top of each other. So go back and start from number one and go all the way through them, or go out and buy Jack Canfield's book and read it, whatever works for you. Uh, but in doing so, I want to be able to read exactly what he's saying in the book, right? I don't have it memorized, and I want to be clear as what he's saying, and then give you my thoughts, and then give you my experiences in my personal life, business, in business and real estate investing, and show you how they apply. And hopefully, you could take some of those lessons for yourself on your journey, and maybe dodge a few obstacles or make a change or an impact in your life. That's all I'm trying to do here. So I am going to just double check and make sure everything's up and running on YouTube, because I just was on there and there was no sound. So let me just double check on that. So in the meantime, subscribe, um, like, comment. I'm live here to answer your questions. So I like to give it a minute or two to let people hop on so they can ask those questions. All right, let's see. Perfect. So, believe and act as if it were possible. So before we jump into that, like I said, my name is Mike DelPrete, Executive Director of the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. We um, we have been here in Arizona representing real estate investors for 21 years. This is our 22nd year in business, longest and most reputable association in the country and in the state of Arizona. And we're here to provide education, networking opportunities, market information, legal information, and support to real estate investors throughout the state of Arizona so that they can be successful in their own business. In addition to being able to provide safe, clean, and affordable housing to the citizens of the state of Arizona. So that's why we do this. And I think it truly just as important as it is understanding how to invest in real estate, and the strategies and the ins and outs and the legalities and building your team, um, and profiting, making cash flow, whatever it may be that you're in, flipping. It all starts here. It all starts in the mindset, and it's not going to work if you don't have the right thinking. So once again, Jack Canfield's Success Principles. Go buy the book, watch the episodes, whatever works for you. And like I said, feel free to drop a comment, question, comment, concern in the notes, and I'll jump in here. So um, let's see where we at here. I lost my spot here. Act as if. I always like to start with the quote that Jack has: "Believe and act as if it were impossible to fail." An inventor with over Charles Kettering, inventor with over 140 patents and honorary doctorates from nearly 30 universities. So take that for what it is, right? Someone that successful, obviously the consistency is there, not giving up, and the tenacity. So to accomplish 440 patents, it's amazing. So One of the great strategies for success is to act as if you already are where you want to be. This means thinking like, talking like, dressing like, acting like, and feeling like the person who has already achieved the goal. Acting as if sends powerful commands to the subconscious mind to find creative ways to achieve your goals, especially before you go to sleep. Very important. It programs the rectile, the RAS, all right, RAS, in your brain to start noticing anything that will help you succeed. It sends strong messages to the universe that this end goal is something you really want. You ever make a decision where you're like, hey, I want to buy a certain type of car, or you just bought something specific that you've always wanted and you thought about, and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere you go, right? Because you're programmed, you've been thinking about it, you really want it, you visualize it, you feel it, and your brain starts searching for it. So whatever you focus on, where the energy flows, what's that quote? Energy flows, energy grows, or something like that. So start acting as if. The first time I noticed this phenomenon, what? Okay, so he gives a story. So first time I noticed this was, this was before real estate. Uh, I was reading this book and Thinking Real Rich, and at that time I worked at Verizon Wireless, which is part of my story. But also, I was in the music business, so I was throwing concerts and I was in band management, uh, and record labels and radio stations. So I was promoting new artists. So I remember thinking about doing that because when I used to live back east, I would go to New York City and I'll see all the street teams. I was like, oh man, that was cool. That'd be cool to get into the music business and be part of the street team and grow from there. And I remember when I moved here, I saw street teams here, and I was like, that's what I wanted. So I was like, I'm gonna go get it, right? So I talked to the people promoting the albums. I found the guy in charge, the boss of the situation, introduced myself. He didn't have any positions. He didn't think I was gonna come through, so I kept showing up, and he started giving me responsibilities and giving me things I could do to prove myself. And and I went from passing out flyers, putting flyers on your windshield, uh, to being a part of a lot of things, throwing my own concerts, managing bands, going on tours, a lot of great things at the music business. And I led to met artists that I used to listen to when I was a kid. Now being able to bring them into Phoenix and have them perform at the event that I put on, right? So a lot of amazing things. But it all came from wanting acting like and wanting thinking about who I wanted to be and envisioning myself being that person. So I remember driving down here in Phoenix, it's called the 50 Freeway, and it just hit me, man. And coming because as you'll know more about me as you listen to the beginning episodes, but like where I'm from, the stories I gave about how I grew up and the negative thoughts or the vision of the people and friends and family in the city I was from, just there was no vision. So I just remember like I was only in Phoenix like a year and I accomplished all these activities that I always thought about that I never would have done back east. And I was like, I can get anything I want. Anything I think about comes true. And I just like I was hitting my steering wheel. It's so amazing. To take it even that far, I used to I always wanted a BMW, right? So I cut out a BMW and I had a Toyota Corolla and I scotch taped it onto my steering wheel. And I used to drive around with it all the time. People get in the car and laugh at me, right? And I would just like get in that car, man. I still looked at it every day. So now I've had a BMW probably for 6 or 7 years now, right? So it's like, um, uh, I'll never change, right? Well, maybe, but so you get what I'm saying. So start acting as if. So that was very important. Start from visualization and feeling it and thinking of it and acting as that person. I remember going into when I first I had my first business partner, and we had an office uh, in. north-ish Phoenix, not the best area of North Phoenix whatsoever. We were on the second floor. Our rent was like $500. We had like two rooms. Uh, one neighbor was a psychic. The other neighbor was we buy gold and silver and jewelry for cash. And then there was like a plumbing company underneath us. And just the most eclectic group of people coming in and out of there. I remember actually one the place next door actually got robbed and someone got shot next door. So that gives you an idea of our area and where my first office was. But what I did is I was going there part time on my day off from Verizon Wireless, but I wore a blazer, I wore a button up, I had nice shoes, I was clean cut, I shaved my face. I just dressed how I thought investors dressed, people with money dress. My car, clean, very clean car, not as clean now, but it was just I didn't know what an investor was. I was trying to become one. So I just, whatever you see on TV or you think businessmen in finance or whatever do, I did. And even I remember going while I worked at Verizon and I was in real estate and I was starting to close some deals a little bit. I would dress the same way at work, which is obviously fine for work. But I would always buy Starbucks. Right? I would always roll in because everyone would be like, "Oh, Starbucks is expensive, whatever." It's like I'm buying it, even though it was like probably out of the budget. I bought Starbucks every single day just to walk in with a Starbucks and be like, "Oh, I liked it too." You know what I'm saying? But it's like, don't care. This is what investors do. I'm an investor outside of work. I go invest. I buy houses. I sell houses. I flip houses. That's what I do, and that's who I am. That's who I'm becoming, and I'm not going to be here much longer. Hey, Mike, there's a training class coming up to get more credits or certifications. Now, I'm not going to be here. Just don't need it. I'm making money outside of this job. I don't need a 25-cent raise. That's just the attitude I had. So I just knew I wasn't gonna be there. So I was always noticing through the levels of success that I've had in real estate. I've always acted as if I was I always have an image of what's next, right? So what else do you got? To fly as fast as thought, to be anywhere there is, you must first begin by knowing that you have already arrived. That's a great one. You're already there, like I said, right? I what I just said about my job. There you go. Fits fits along with that. Then he goes over, becoming an international consultant. He talks about how he met a seminar leader, a speaker. Jack Canfield's obviously a great book writer and presenter, speaker, educator, and he's talking about in the '70s when he realized that's what he wanted to do, and he met somebody that was just had returned from Australia, and he was like, "Hey, that's what that guy does. That's what I want to do. If he speaks in Australia, I should be speaking. He's successful. I should be speaking out there as well." So he's like, "What?" He said, "I asked myself what I would need to become." Wait, he goes, I decided that I wanted to travel and speak around the world. I asked myself what I would need to become an international consultant. So he called the passport office and asked them to send him an application. Um, and he got his passport. The first thing he's like, "Oh, well, if I'm going to be an international speaker, I need a passport." So he got one, right? So that type of thinking. The law of attraction simply states that like attracts like. The more you create the vibration, the mental and emotional states of already having something, the faster you attract it to yourself. This is an immutable law of the universe and is critical to accelerating the rate of success. Um, Pretty simple, right? And he goes into the million dollar or millionaire cocktail party and what he would have was a great story for his coaching students and everyone in his sphere of influence. He would do a cocktail party, and it was called you would have to act as if. So he would where would you had to show up as the person that you were becoming and you wanted to be in 5 years. So if you wanted to be a doctor, right? Maybe you show up with your white jacket and your scope and your mask or whatever it is, right? And you talk like a doctor. Whatever you're, even if you're right or wrong, you act like that doctor. You use words and verbiage that that doctor would use, right? So, and everyone had their specific journey that they were on. So from speakers to doctors to race car drivers, football players, whatever it is, you had to dress and be that person for the entire cocktail party. So what that's doing is it's like internalizing it, right? It's making you feel it, you feel good. You're building that confidence that you are that person. Um, so I thought that was a pretty cool idea. I don't know, I've never done a party like that, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, so I'm just kind of browsing through here to make sure I hit some points. Um, Cocktail party. Yeah, so these type of activities, when you're acting as if that person, and having these mental images and emotions, it reinforces the belief in one's ability to succeed. And it goes just it's a part of the process of the last 10 episodes we talked about, right? So you're thinking about thoughts, create feelings, and feelings create actions. So if you're constantly visualizing this, constantly acting as you are that person, you're just it's that circle, right? So once you think it, you feel different, and you make an action, and you realize that was a good action, or you made an action that changes the way you operate and gets you closer to your goal, then once again you're like, wow, that worked. I want to do it again. You think about a new idea and you think about doing it more, and it feels even better. And then you take a second action, right? And it compounds and it goes over and over, and it grows and grows and grows until you are that person. So act as if, be that person, be around people that want to be that way as well. Other people that are on that same goal, that same mission. I break it down into thirds, right? So most importantly, like kind of fits with this, but it's like a third of the time you're hanging out with people that are behind you, not too far, right? They're trying to be where you're at in the business, and you help them, help bring them up, right? Because someone's gonna help bring you up. And then third of the time, you're around people that are at the same level, people that are that will you can have these conversations where you understand each other and you hold each other accountable, and you can talk about what's working, what's not working with your businesses, and you can learn from each other and expedite things. Then the next third of the time, you're with people that are where you want to be. They're ahead of you. They can pull you up, and they can inspire you, and you can learn from them, and you know dodge mistakes as well, right? So I think in that middle third, get around those people. One, in that middle third, get around those people that have that same energy. You are going to change. People are going to notice a difference in you. You are going to get some backlash on this. But if you want what you want, it doesn't matter, right? So get around those people that will support the idea of acting as if, and changing and growing into becoming a real estate investor. And then also hanging out with those people, they'll push you, they'll get you out of your comfort zone, and they'll give you opportunity. If you're showing up, you're a good person, and you're doing what you say you're going to do, and just good people will help you, give you opportunities, because you'll be surprised when successful people or people with real estate opportunities, sometimes they don't want to take on some opportunities. Sometimes they'll pass those opportunities and give you first shot at an opportunity, or buying a house or flipping a house that they have access to, that you might not have gotten if you weren't hanging out with them. So you got to take advantage of those situations. So do the thirds, help people, get around people like yourself, moving on up, and get people that are already there. So act as if. That's what I got for today. I will do this every single day to for the 64 episodes. So love to see you here at the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. Um, if you're in Phoenix, Tucson, Northern Arizona, go to AZREIA.org. Check out what we have to offer, especially if you're interested in being a real estate investor at some level. And come to our networking events. We hold about 15 to 17 events a month. Our main meeting is in Scottsdale, Arizona on the second Monday of the month. And if you're in Tucson, our main meeting is the second Tuesday of the month. We have where this is where you could build your real estate investing team. We have the real estate, all the resources, accountants, property managers, agents, attorneys, insurance companies, title companies, contractors, air conditioning companies, pest control companies, whatever you need to run your real estate investment business. We have probably over 40 vendors that provide services to real estate investors, where you get discounts and benefits. They're all vetted through us. They've been with us for years. They provide excellent service. Our networking events are hosted by what we call subgroup leaders. They're active in our market today. They're been minimum of 5 years. They're like your mentor for 2 hours. They hold in our here in our Central Phoenix office. They will be there for 2 hours, teach you something, allow and have the place open for a group of like-minded people, whether it's fix and flipping, landlording, women's group, cash flow 101, notes, multifamily. We have all the networking groups you need for real estate investing here at AZREIA. So check our calendar out, azrea.org/calendar. In our description, we have I have a link to a library of ebooks. If you're brand new to real estate investing, you just want to get some insight on different topics of different real estate strategies. Free ebooks, about maybe 5, 7 of them in there for you to download. Check them out, and we'll love to see you here. Come hang out, come learn how to change your life through real estate investing. My name is Mike DelPrete, and that's a wrap for today.